Come on down. Thank you. Okay, we're going to reconvene now, and we are going to begin the, so I will say welcome to the Board of Commissioners working session for January 9th, 2025. Our first order of business this evening is a motion to approve the minutes from the working session of November 14, 2024, and I so move.
Second.
The minutes have been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
The ayes are slow in coming, but I think we've crossed the finish line. Yeah, exactly.
Aye.
I think, so what we'll do is we have one item of business this evening, and then we'll take any public comment on that presentation following that. And so our item of business this evening is a presentation of the preliminary major subdivision and land development for LD-22-01 DJS Associates, located at 1603 and 1617 Old York Road. And I will turn it over. Good evening. If you just let us know who you are and how you're affiliated with the project.
Good evening. My name is Eric Clace from Gilmore & Associates. I'm the site engineer on the project. Mark Jonas was not able to join us tonight. He has pneumonia.
Yes. Well, thank you for coming. We appreciate it.
No problem. I don't see my client in the room, so you got me tonight. This is I'm going to be brief. This project has been in front of you for a few years now. It's an existing business. They're traffic forensics. What they're doing is they previously tore down a building on the site, which is on the Butler Ave side. This property fronts on Butler Ave, York Road, and Hamilton Avenue. It's two lots. Combined, it's about 41,000 square feet. It's in the Main Street high-density zoning district. The addition they would like to put on is 2,460 square feet. It's an office, a little bit of storage, and 3 parking spaces to increase with the parking. We've previously been in front of the zoning hearing board and received 3 variances. There were some conditions. We fully intend on meeting those conditions. I won't bore you with those conditions if you don't want me to go through them. We will be asking for 5 waivers. Other than that, all the professional letters are will comply. So there are nothing we're pushing back on with any of the professional letters. Would you want me to just dive into the waivers or?
That's fine.
Okay, great.
Yeah. And then we'll probably have Mr. Hassan comment at the completion of your commentary.
Great. The first waiver is from Saldo Section 146-11A4, which is showing property identifications 400 feet from the site, which is typically provided by survey. We used aerial photography to cover that. So it's a partial waiver. Number 2 is an existing features plan with the same information. Again, we're using aerial photography rather than actual survey, so it's a partial waiver. Number 3, off-street parking spaces are typically 10 by 20. The existing spaces on site are 10 by 18, so we're asking for a partial waiver to continue with the existing size of the parking spaces. The next section is concerning erosion. It's the erosion control section. It's section 146-43C3A, and it's any slopes on site that are steeper than 15%. I'll point you in the direction of the proposed building expansion, which is along Butler Ave. To tie that building into the sidewalk, we had to make the slope a little steeper. It's not for people walking. It's literally tying the earth into the existing grade right there, and it exceeds 15%. So it's a waiver to allow that slope. We previously we got rid of a waiver at the Planning Commission meeting for stormwater requirements that show existing features on it. We are going to provide that now. So that one's coming out. We are adding a waiver for 146-9. It's to get preliminary/final approval. You actually have to ask for a waiver for that. That's all I have for you tonight.
Okay.
That's the gist of the project.
Thank you. Does anybody have questions before we can ask Mr. Hassan? Oh, yeah. Commissioner Young-Gertz, go ahead.
Thanks so much. Can you boil down the slope drainage thing a little? Give us a translation into everyday language. You've so I know Butler. This is my word. You know the Butler, and you've gotten a variance. Did you say for a little deeper slope. I'm concerned about drainage into Route 611, and I'm concerned about, you know, permeability and all of that.
Sure.
What are your plans? What's going on?
Yeah, what our plans, we are capturing all proposed impervious in an underground basin. When I'm talking about steep slopes, all I'm talking about, if you have a proposed building, there's a grade, and then there's an existing grade. So we're taking that, all we're doing is tying them in together. It's not promoting any erosion. We are capturing all of our impervious on site and taking it to a detention
Because
basin.
with Butler slopes down into 611 as it is, I
Right.
have visions of water cascading.
No, it will not cascade, no.
All right, and how many parking spaces are you adding?
We are adding, it's 8 proposed spaces, and then we have 3 internal to the building, so there's 11.
11 spaces?
There'll be 40 total on site.
Okay, I'll probably have other questions
Okay.
in a bit, but that was, there's a stone wall in front of the property. Is that
Correct.
going away? Is that staying?
There will be a wall along the frontage of the property, correct, as part of the building.
I'm thinking of aesthetics
Yeah.
on that corridor.
Yeah, we don't have the architect here tonight, but we did have some slides previously that I don't have with me.
Thank you.
But thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Mr. Hassan, are you still here?
I am President Hacker, yes.
And we are
Yeah,
delighted,
right.
so if if
Thank
you wouldn't
you.
mind offering us your perspective on the requested waivers?
Yeah, so just to go back, just a little history on the project, as the design engineer had alluded to. This project has been around since April of 2022 at different levels. They came initially in front of the Planning Commission. In April of 24, they came in front of the Zoning Hearing Board and have received the waivers that was just referenced right now with the conditions. And then obviously December 18, 24, they presented in front of the Township Planning Commission, and they got a recommendation for the submitted application. As for the submitted waivers, we received an updated waiver request letter, as was just referenced right now. There was initially a waiver requested from the URSAM. This is related to stormwater, but the applicant had since taken that waiver back, and they are in full compliance with that, being that they submitted a full design of the stormwater. The waivers are being requested are pretty straightforward, very standard waivers from existing conditions, from existing features, 400 feet. We've many times have accepted, because of the size of the project, if the project is a large tract of land, most of the times we do not recommend that the township entertains acceptance or approving such a waiver. This is a small project. We do have ample existing information on the project, and therefore an aerial photography submission suffices. There are 2 related to existing features. One is from features from around the property. The other one is property identification. We were okay with both of them. The off-street parking, I agree with the presentation. The existing parking on the site right now is 10 by 18. All they're doing is they're matching whatever existing now. 10 by 18 parking spaces is an acceptable practice. They do provide accommodation for vehicles to park, enter, and exit out of these spaces. And then the ENS control waiver, we also don't have any issues with that. I do agree the approved and reviewed stormwater design associated with the project is adequate, and it addresses any potential issues related to stormwater. The site is self-contained, and we are confident that the design will operate as intended. With that, we really have no additional comments. This is the second review that we submit on this project, and it is pretty much ready to move forward. And any outstanding comments, the applicant will have to address before they get to recording process, but obviously after they come in front of the Board of Commissioners at your next meeting. With that, I have no additional comments on this. I'll answer any questions the commissioners might have for me.
Thank you, Cal. I just want to clarify so that you would be supportive of this being designated as preliminary final.
I would be supportive from my standpoint. If the board would like to consider it, I myself support such a waiver. It's a small project.
Okay, thank you
Thank you.
very much. Any comments or questions for Cal? Okay. Well, we thank you for coming in. This meeting, we don't actually take a vote. This would move forward for actual final consideration at an upcoming voting meeting of the Board of Commissioners, unless there's objection, which doesn't seem to be any general objection here.
All right, great. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you. And then I'll open it up if there's anyone that wishes, anyone from the audience that wishes to comment on this before we conclude for the evening.
My business? Gilmore.
No, yeah, if you have a comment, you can come forward.
What do you do?
No.
Oh, you want me to come forward and just say hi?
Well, no, this isn't Q&A. If you have comments on the project.
Can I ask what kind of business this is that's being built?
It's not, it's an existing business that's expanding. They're
Well,
foren-
what
they're-
is
they're
the
in
business?
Forensic traffic is what they
Oh, you're the
indicated.
forensic group?
I am not. I'm their civil engineer.
Okay, they do a very nice job with their maintenance. Thank you.
You are welcome. Anyone else in the room wish to comment? And if not, we will turn to Zoom.
Laura
You
Lehman,
can
you're
sit
unmuted.
down.
So I just want to comment, in the beginning, I don't believe they had a right to receive the variances, which are only supposed to be given if there is not a use for the property.
Ms. Lehman, which variances are you referring to? The ones that are being requested tonight or the ones that were granted by the zoning hearing board?
Ones that were granted by the zoning hearing board.
So
And
we
I-
have no jurisdiction over the zoning hearing board. You're welcome to make a comment, but there's no action that the board can take. The zoning hearing board is ruled.
Well, there is some action that you can take, because one of the things that I've been asking for is a place at the zoning hearing board where we are able to talk about the process both before and after the meeting. And that would be up to you to set those rules.
Actually, it's not.
Yeah.
Our job, as it relates to the zoning hearing board, is to appoint members to serve on the board. They're an independent agency with their own solicitor. We do not have jurisdiction over their rules of procedure.
Well, then our job is to tell you when the person who has that jurisdiction is not allowing the public to have a place to improve the process that has a problem. In this particular case, the process had a problem. And in many cases, the process has a problem, and we are not able to address it. We can't address it under the individual items, and so there's no place to address that. So I would appeal to you to talk to the zoning hearing board solicitor and the head of the zoning hearing board and see if you can get that done. And if they won't do that, then I would appeal to you to appoint other people. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Thank you for coming this evening, sir. And with that, we will adjourn.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you. You too.